This year I made 2 new costumes for katsucon. One was a fairy Umbreon cosplay, but one was also my second time ever making armor. So that is what this video is going to be about, my struggles with armor. I was asked by my friend Cel if I wanted to cosplay with them at katsucon, and this was one of their options, was these armor Sailor Scouts from Spookgeist. They were Pluto, our friend Aaron was Saturn, and I decided to be Chibiusa because all 3 of them were in the same drawing, and I don't know, I like cosplaying Chibiusa. This is my second time ever working with armor. I made a really incomplete, not very good Headhunter Akali from League of Legends years and years ago. That costume never actually got finished. That was really my only time making armor, and it didn't go very well. This time I was hoping that I could maybe do a little bit of better job. Got a bunch of Kamui's books on how to do worbla armor, and I read through those. You should check them out. Her books are really useful and really helpful. I know that foam armor is also an option, and it's cheaper and was a lot easier to work with. However, I know that foam kind of degrades over time and like it kind of becomes a blob, and the paints get sticky and everything. So I wanted to work with worbla because it was longer lasting and it's a lot sturdier, and I didn't think I would have to worry about it like bending or breaking or anything as much. Spoiler, I was not correct. That was kind of my reason for working with worbla. I think in the future I probably will stick with foam if I ever decide I want to do an armor cosplay again. Chances of that, very low. This whole process was a huge trial and error, so I hope you guys enjoy watching me struggle. I feel like usually on this channel I very much know what I'm doing because I'm doing some kind of sewing project, and not to sound like a jerk, but I am very good at sewing. I am not good at making armor. I'm really bad at it, so it did not go smoothly or as planned, and I did not get anything correct on the first try. So I hope you enjoy watching me struggle a little bit. Let's go to that. For patterns, I'm adapting Kamui Cosplay's various bundles of armor pieces. For the upper part, I have the thigh protector. I'm going to be making that into 3 parts, so that's those 3 there. And instead of making everything out of foam, I'm making everything out of worbla, just because I don't like dremeling and doing all that kind of stuff. I'd rather work with thermoplastics than with foam. The leg armor is pretty much exactly how she's got it. I think I might have shortened it on the top. Let's stick a zipper in the back, I think. I don't know, we'll see. This one I did change quite a bit. I added this little heart guy because she's got a little heart on her knee guard. I've duplicated this lower part and made it a point instead of this blunt edge, and I think the top part I just left. So right now I'm just cutting all of these out. There's so many pieces, this is going to take me a very long time. That's what we're working on. Made some progress, made the legs, decided I don't like them because they're too chonky. They don't fit right. I decided to scrap these for now, and I'm getting boots that will kind of match the rest of the armor, so hopefully that will look close enough. If I end up having time once I'm done with all my other stuff, then I might take these 2 back pieces off and just make like the front armor so it resembles the rest of it a little bit more, but I'm only going to do that if I have extra time at the end because I still have to finish Umbreon and I still gotta put all this armor together. I have, however, started on the thigh and the knee armor, so I've got these for the thigh pieces together. These will get decorated more, but I need to like actually put the rest of this together. The knee armor, these little sparkle details on it, so I haven't decided if I want to like press that into the armor so it leaves an impression, or if I just want to paint it on, or do a little decal with like Cricut vinyl sticker stuff so that it's more of a raised detail rather than an imprinted detail. Haven't decided on that yet. I think I will decide that after I've gotten everything else together and I get the outer border parts of this on. Working on that. The rest of this still needs to be assembled and put together, so I still have quite a lot to do. So I'm gonna work on all of that now. But now that I'm looking at all these layers together, it's like really chunky looking. So I don't think I like how it's turning out. So I think I'm gonna just try something different entirely. So I think what I'm gonna do is, these were all like 2 separate pieces. I think I'll just cut each of these as like one big piece without this center front seam, and then glue them together and then lay worbla over top of that whole thing, and that should make it less funky looking. That does mean I'm abandoning these guys. I think I'll be able to use them in the future for like just Ren Fair kind of outfits and like put decoration and stuff on them and just wear them as individual little thigh pieces. But for this costume, they're too chunky to layer on top of each other. So I'm gonna just put these to the side and hopefully use them in a future project. I do think the knee part is still okay. Like, it's a little chunky also, but I think because it looks kind of jointed rather than the thigh part, which kind of just looks like plates stacked on top of each other. Like, I think this will be fine. So I'm gonna keep using these. I'm gonna fuse them together once I put decorations on them. But this is only my second time making like full armor, and my first time went really, really poorly, so we're learning here. Okay, got these pieces cut out. I'm gonna contact cement them together, which means that I am done with the heat gun for tonight because I don't want to start any fires. So I'm gonna unplug this guy and I'm gonna contact cement these together and then let them sit and off gas overnight. Is what I'm following here. I'm just gonna follow the layout it's got. I've gotten rid of the whole bottom row there. Hopefully this will go fairly smoothly. I am gonna keep the front and the back separate and then like Velcro them together to put them on. So I think that should work, hopefully. I've already got some pieces put together. So I've got these like 2 front pieces put together and then I've got the back piece together. I need to add like the bust cups and the under bust area. Worbla was not working out for me, so we're trying this again with a like medium weight craft foam and then covering the whole thing in Worbla instead. Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna try it out. Had to go get a new heat gun because the one that I was using started smoking and popping and was not good. So we're not using that one anymore. I was using it and I had turned it off and set it next to me while I was doing this stuff, and then it started popping and smoking next to me, and that was very scary. So we have a new one and we're going to be making sure it's definitely unplugged every time I walk away from it. Thankfully I was standing right next to it and I had not walked away from it, but yeah, not great. That one was very old, probably like 10 years old at this point. Maybe it's just because it was really old, but we have a new one. We're gonna do better this time. Stuff primed. The next thing I'm going to do is add the little shapes to all of the pink pieces. Pink pieces of armor get little shapes like stars and moons and whatever on them. So I've cut that out of Cricut vinyl. I'm just going to stick them right on there. Gotten the stickers and everything on here, so those will leave raised impressions of stuff. I'm going to coat all of the armor in a coat of white paint, cover all this gray stuff up so that when I paint it more white and then also pink, it'll have like a better base and like the actual colors will be easier to see. little hard to see, but she's got this belt thing here, so I've drawn that out. I've also got some reference images that I took from the internet, so these will, that'll be here. I need to go to katsucon tomorrow, so we're gonna do this as fast as possible, so it might not be the best leatherworking I've ever done, but it will be done. I'm gonna try to use the thinnest parts of this leather so it's easier to sew.
Now ham it up.
I can bend my knee.
You did it!
I did it.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh my god.
can. Judging by the fact that I'm not in it right now.
Thanks. It's not that important. Okay, so I gotta say this is probably the last time I will ever make armor because I did not have a good time. I don't like making armor. I don't like wearing plastic armor. Not into it. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a try with leather armor sometime, but the plastic armor, not my thing. I don't know. I had a hard time like getting everything to fit together correctly. Like the knee part kept popping off, which was not fun. This part is like, I don't know. I guess that side's okay, but there's like obviously
What if we
a
get
big
you to
seam.
forge metal armor?
Yeah, perfect. With the forge I have in my house.
Yeah, the forge that I will have in my house.
Oh, in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan.
This is Cell. I mean, you've probably seen Cell many times. Cell also made armor.
I did.
And
It kept falling off.
we both decided that we were going to stay in it. We lasted 37 minutes, and now we're doing
Honestly,
something
that's
else.
36 minutes longer than I thought I would last. So, like, I mean...
Yep. Do you have a video of you making it?
I do.
Okay, so
There's going to be a video of me making all of my cosplays for katsucon is probably going to be my longest video, so...
all of them at once? You
Maybe
just gotta
two.
Separate out the
Maybe
whatever.
it'll be a two-part.
Depending on
So.
whose video comes out first, you know, I have a problem with not
Backlog.
getting stuff out on time, but that's fine. Okay, so yeah, so things that I liked about this costume, I liked the finish that I, like the gold, like pearlescent thing, I like that. I like the resin heart that I cast, and I liked my painting. That's
Resin heart is
it.
super cute.
Yeah! I was very pleased when I figured that out.
It's got like facets on it. It's
Yeah.
really neat. Glitters.
Yes, there's nail polish on the back, so it's all glittery. Things that I would have improved, oh, there's so many of them. There are so many of them. So the first time that I tried to do everything, I like encased every piece of foam in worbla, and that did not go well. It made it very chunky, so would not do that again. This one, I ended up just putting I glued all the foam together, and then I encased it in worbla on top. Ugh, the Velcro is also coming
Very
off this.
sturdy.
Yeah, it's hefty. So like the inside, you can see that like all of the foam is already glued together, and then worbla is just kind of wrapped around it. And that made it a lot smoother and less chunky, but it's still not completely smooth. I guess I probably could have fixed that by doing more sanding and whatever, but I did not have time. I had 2 weeks to make this and my other costume, so that is what it is. I think the leather that I did was really ugly. I've made much better leather before if I'd had more time, because I literally made this like the day before we left for katsucon. I would have done more like actual tooling, like the little sparkles I think I would have tooled into it. Same with the other armor. I used a little sticker, but like it didn't have enough relief that I was happy with it. If I were to ever do this again, which I probably won't, I would have made it more of like a three-dimensional thing rather than just like a flat thing with painting on it. Same with like doing the beveling and like extra stuff. I
think you doing leather armor would be really nice.
Yeah.
That way you can do all like really, really nice tooling and detailing.
I think I would be happier with it too, because I'm more comfortable with leatherworking than plastic, but I did not have all the time for leatherworking, because that not only like would I have needed time for it to dry with painting and stuff like I did with this, but I would have needed time for like, you have to wet the leather and then you tool it and then you have to wet it again for other stuff and then do more, and then like each time you have to wait for it to dry for a full day.
Yep. And then every time you stain it,
you
have to do like 3 or 4 layers of stain.
It would have taken way too long, and I just did not have that time. So we went with thermoplastic, which was annoying. Don't like it. Also, my heat gun caught on fire, so that was a problem. Didn't like that.
It was unplugged.
Yeah, it was unplugged. No, it wasn't unplugged.
It was off.
Yeah, so like I was using it, and then I like turned it off, set it down, and then like did my thing, and then it started popping and smoking. I was like, oh shit, did I not turn it off? And I like tried to turn it off, and it was already off. So I had to unplug it. I like freaked out, and now I'm very, very scared of leaving anything plugged in that creates heat, because I don't want my house to burn down. So, you know. Oh, but like I've left my heat gun plugged in before, like sitting there, but now I will never ever do that again. So don't leave your heat appliances plugged in
or unattended, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I've left my iron plugged in while I go out somewhere, which is bad. It has an automatic shut off, thankfully. Like I definitely left my curling iron plugged in before. Neither of those things have ever caught on fire though, so, you know. I actually liked how I did this piece. This is the only piece that I was very happy with, like this bottom part, because I think this looks nice. This part got kind of chunky, didn't love that, but this looks good, and I used my little pearls to do the rivets. So I don't know, I guess I can turn out something that like I don't hate, but is it worth it to go through this again? I'm not sure about that. The wrist armor was kind of too big because I was trying to make it look a lot like the drawing, but the drawing is like a drawing, so you know, doesn't always work out. And then the elbow things did not stay in place, they just wanted to fall right down. Basically nothing fit quite right. It's a lot harder to fit armor than it is to fit clothing. So I guess the thigh parts also I did it like the bottom of that shoulder armor.
Yeah, so like you really like the layered parts.
That part worked out fine. I built the whole thing out of foam first and then covered it in worbla, and I think that looked a lot better than trying to encase every piece in worbla. However, my paint job is already getting destroyed. Like I don't know how to prevent that from happening. Like this just does not seem to hold on to paint very well. So I don't know if worbla is really my thing. I do want to make one of those like cool porcelain corsets at some point, so I do have enough worbla to attempt that project, and then I will probably never ever get worbla ever again. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. There are many things that I would change, and oh, also the paint choices. So I really liked the gold shimmery kind of paint on the white parts. The pink parts, the shimmery paint that I got for the pink is like more silver toned, which I didn't really like. I wish I had been more gold toned, and I guess I could have just gone over the paint, the pink part with the gold, but I started and then it was too late for me to start it over. So that's what we went with. I probably would have chosen a more gold toned paint to go over the pink.
It gives it a little bit of dimension.
I guess.
But you want it to be more like
it made it
cohesive?
Too like foggy looking. I feel like the gold makes it look fancier, whereas the silver makes it look kind of foggy and not correct. Getting the attachments on there, worbla does not stick to paint, which I should have seen coming, but I didn't. I guess I learned a few things. This is like my second time ever making armor, and the first time was like a completely disaster. Like that was in like 2017 or something, and it turned out bad. Looked a little bit better than this because this has to be really polished and nice, whereas that was kind of like, it was a Nidalee cosplay, so it could be kind of like I've been sitting in the jungle and am weathered. Takeaway is that armor is not my ideal thing. So cool. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go watch Celeste's video if it's come out, and if it hasn't, just go watch a different video of theirs, whatever.
If you want to know if Minji ever does foam craft again, subscribe.
That too. subscribe for my cats. If you want to give me advice on how this could have sucked less, then like leave that in the comments, but I'm no promises that I'm actually going to take your advice. It'll just be like, oh, well, that was nice. Thanks for letting me know. But feel free to leave it in the comments if you want to. And yeah, if you want to see more videos from me, then please subscribe. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye. Happy katsucon.